This is Shelley Kraft coming to you live on SNNLive. We're coming to you live from the LD Micro 11th Annual Main Event in Bel Air, California, 2018. I have with me today John Brda from Torchlight Energy. It's a publicly traded company on NASDAQ, and the symbol is TRCH. John, welcome to SNNLive.
Oh, thanks, Shelley. Thanks for having me. Good to be with you again.
Good to have you. Let's get started with a brief overview of the company, and we'll go from there.
Well, we're a NASDAQ-traded E&P company. We are primarily focused in the Permian Basin. We have three separate plays out there, our largest of which is the Oro Grande Basin, which is our primary focus.
Okay, let's get a history of how the company got started in the Permian Basin, et cetera, and what's going on.
Well, I won't bother you with the history from 2010 to 2014 because the whole oil and gas world changed in 2014. At that point, we decided to refocus our company on the Permian Basin. That's when we got in business with Greg McCabe and Rich Masterson, who are just a godsend for us as a company. Rich Masterson is the guru geologist of the Permian Basin, and that's when we started picking up acreage positions and plays in the Permian and divesting of our producing properties in the Mid-Continent in South Texas.
So when you look for oil, or you're looking, is it where the wells were? Are you revamping old wells? Are you drilling? You tell me.
Well, what we really have focused on is more of a private equity model as a public company. That means we go into acreage positions that might have been overlooked or might have been turned down by somebody else for blanket geology. You guys are really not doing the work, but closeology, as I like to say it. But with Rich Masterson on our team, we're able to go in and say, okay, here are the reasons why it didn't work for somebody else, and they didn't do A, B, and C correctly. Therefore, we can buy it cheaply, do the correct work, do the correct science, and turn it for a profit. And so that's what we're really focused on doing, is getting into positions early, getting them into proving them up from a production standpoint, and then looking to sell them off to bigger companies.
What would you say is your competitive advantage?
I think our advantage really twofold. One is our geologic team, headed up by Rich, and secondly, the size of our acreage positions in the Permian currently, which are sizable.
What would you consider the competitive landscape?
Right now for us, we are not competing with anybody for new acreage positions because that's not what we're doing. We're on the downside of this. We're looking to divest of our non-core assets, focus on Oro Grande, and eventually be sold to a bigger company. So we're not out there competing for acreage anymore. So our competition is the price of oil.
What's your background?
My background is actually on the finance side, raising money for public companies, running a fund in the 90s. It's really being around the public company space for a long, long time. And then back in 2010, myself and another gentleman, an oil and gas specialist who retired from Amoco Oil at the time, started the company, and I took over in 2013, right around there, and had to learn the oil and gas business by fire, really. So I've been responsible for raising all the money in the company, and over time surrounded myself with people who could really nurture the oil and gas side.
So you're a public company, so only tell me what you can, but what are some growth drivers in the near term?
Growth drivers for us are selling the assets, our non-core assets, which we've openly told the market that we're doing. We'll take that cash, pay off our debt completely, and then use the remaining balance of the cash, redeploy that into Oro Grande to make that asset worth more and more before we sell it.
Now, what's your website for our investor audience, if you would?
The website is torchlightenergy.com. And all of our information is updated regularly up there. So the presentation from our event here at LD is up. Anything you'd like to find out, and if not, drop us an email and we'll get it to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, John Brda, Torchlight Energy. It's a publicly traded company on NASDAQ, and the symbol is TRCH. I'm Shelley Kraft. This is SNNLive. We're coming to you live from the LD Micro 11th Annual Main Event in Bel Air, California, 2018. John, good to see you. Thanks for coming on.
Pleasure. Thank you.